Hello everyone. Welcome to the pronunciation video series for Tien Anh Moi Mot, Global Success of Vietnam Education Publishing House. In this video, we are going to focus on strong and weak forms of auxiliary verbs. We shall discover how to pronounce auxiliary verbs in different types of sentences. At the end of this lesson, there are some examples for you to practice. First, let's look at the following exchange between Mark and Nam. I will say the sentences twice. Listen carefully and pay attention to how the auxiliary verbs in bold are pronounced. Have you started working out again? Yes, I have. One more time. Have you started working out again? Yes, I have. What happens to the words in bold? How is each of them pronounced? In the yes-no question, the auxiliary verb have does not receive stress, and the vowel sound of the word is pronounced So this auxiliary verb is pronounced in weak form, have. Meanwhile, in the short answer, the auxiliary verb receives the stress. It is pronounced with the full vowel sound ah. In other words, it's pronounced in the strong form, have. Now look at the rest of the conversation. Again, listen to the sentences twice and pay attention to how the auxiliary verbs in bold are pronounced. Was it your grandfather who taught you? Yes, it was. Was it your grandfather who taught you? Yes, it was. What happens to the words in bold? How is each of them pronounced? Similar to the previous sentences, the auxiliary verb is pronounced in weak form, was, at the beginning of the question, and in strong form, was, in the short answer. Here are the rules. Auxiliary verbs are pronounced in weak forms at the beginning of yes-no questions. In other words, they are pronounced softer, lower in pitch and faster. At the same time, the vowel letter within the word is pronounced as the schwa sound Meanwhile, in short answers, auxiliary verbs are pronounced in strong forms. They are pronounced clearly with full vowel sounds. Now, listen carefully and compare how auxiliary verbs are pronounced in weak forms and strong forms. I will make short pauses for you to repeat after me. Do you? I do. Does she? She does. Can I? You can. Could we? We could. Were they? They were. Has he? He has. Very good. To get a better feel of this pronunciation pattern, let's practice further with more examples. Look at the following sentences. Pay attention to the auxiliary verbs in bold and repeat after me. Get yourself ready. Does she exercise? Yes, she does. Does she exercise? Yes, she does. Very good. Next sentences. Were you eating healthily? Yes, I was. Do you eat vegetables? Yes, I do. Can he get up early? Yes, he can. Excellent. And that brings us to the end of this video lesson. You may feel a bit confused when practicing these pronunciation patterns at first, but keep practicing. I hope you found this video useful. See you next time.